Hello, I am Bailey Wild, and this is the history of the Mars rover and how it fits into American society technologically and culturally. The Curiosity rover touched down on Mars in August 2012. A monumental achievement for human space exploration, the Mini Cooper-sized rover is the most advanced mobile robot ever built. Curiosity is not alone on the Red Planet. NASA has sent a number of rovers and landers, stationary robots, to the surface of our planetary neighbor and will continue to explore it for the foreseeable future. Yet, to get an understanding of where Curiosity and other Mars explorers came from, we need to go to the start of mankind's space exploration. It wasn't until after World War II that the human dreams of space travel became a reality. With the technological advances provided during the 5 prior years of war, the world superpowers, the United States and Soviet Union, began to compete on a global stage. Tensions of the Cold War led to battles between the USA and Soviet Union in every frontier possible, from government to war to nuclear missiles to space. This space race lasted for the entirety of the 1960s. The Soviet Union struck first in the space race when in 1957 it sent the unmanned probe Sputnik into orbit. This sent America into a bit of a tizzy because they felt like they were being beaten by the Soviets. Yet, after years of competition in the final frontier, America won the space race when in 1969 Buzz Aldrin became the first person to step foot on the moon. This proved to be the beginning of the end of the space race, but it was not the end of American space exploration. With the moon explored, the next destination proved to be Mars. Mars makes sense, as it has been a prevalent aspect of humans' perception of space for eons. The technology developed to send man to the moon was also utilized to send unmanned spacecrafts to our red neighbor. Mars has been of particular interest for humans ever since the Italian astronomer Giovanni Schiaparelli claimed to have discovered massive canals on the red planet through his telescope in 1877. He hypothesized that they were irrigation channels created by highly intelligent life, Martians. The theory became famous, and although skeptics arose almost immediately, through 1916, popular magazines such as American Scientific and Popular Science supported the idea that there were canals made by intelligent Martians. The search for life on Mars became known as Mars fever, and it continued to grow around the turn of the 20th century. In 1901, the famous inventor Nikola Tesla claimed he received a radio signal from Mars, and War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells, a novel about Martians invading Earth, became one of the most popular books of 1898. This fever was reignited in 1938 when that book was read as if it was a public broadcast, creating panic among the American public. Ultimately, this image, taken in the 1965 flyby of Mars by Mariner 4, showed the Martian surface to be a barren wasteland totally void of intelligent life. But while this all but ended Mars fever, it did not end NASA's, or the American public's, interest in Mars. Instead, the reason for interest shifted. With the rise of nuclear weapons in the 1940s, American culture became terrified of a nuclear war that would end civilization. In fact, this fear is still present today, and has made people want an escape in case humans ever decide to destroy themselves. In addition to the fear of a nuclear holocaust, another cultural movement began in the 1950s and 60s. The modern environmentalist movement started in this time. Problems such as air pollution, water pollution, and climate change became huge cultural issues that ignited concern that humans were destroying Earth, and that in the future it would become uninhabitable due to anthropogenic activity. With these threats of the end of civilization on Earth looming, the public began looking for a way to escape these problems. One of the grand ideas became eventually moving mankind to Mars. Although none of the root problems of violence and pollution would be cured, humans would at least have a chance to start again in this new world. The first step to getting humans to Mars was to send robots. Many of the rovers sent to Mars have been to assess the possibility of humans one day living there. In the words of Carl Sagan, quote, "Mars has become a kind of mythic arena onto which we have projected our earthly hopes and fears." To get a rover to Mars, land it, and make it operational required a multitude of engineering feats. One of the biggest challenges NASA overcame was a power source for the rovers. First invented in 1954 in Bell Labs, Solar panels quickly became a popular use for outer space power, with the first example being satellites in 1958. The first Mars rover, the Mars Pathfinder Sojourn, was powered entirely by solar panels. The problem with solar panels are that it limits the range of the rovers to places where it sees maximum sunlight. This problem was overcome by this red cube. This radioisotope thermoelectric generator powers the rover through nuclear reactions. The technology is derived from science learned during the making of the atomic bombs, and it is an advancement over solar panels because the machine does not need to be in sunlight to operate. This allows Curiosity to roam unrestricted through the Martian surface. As you can see, the Curiosity rover is a culmination of cultural interests, technological advancements, and societal concerns. Although the final product is a technological wonder, the technology itself has a clear place in history and society. The history of the Mars rover is hardly over. In fact, we are in the midst of it. In May 2018, NASA launched its newest lander to Mars. The InSight lander utilizes advanced solar powers for its power source and will be monitoring Mars for seismic activity. According to NASA, quote, "There might be some current hotspots on Mars where hydrothermal pools, like those at Yellowstone, provide places for life." In this way, we can see that the search for life on Mars is not over. It has just shifted from intelligent life to microbial life forms. Mars is still prevalent in popular culture today. It has been the subject of major motion pictures like The Martian, and Elon Musk and SpaceX's goal to send humans to Mars has garnered significant public interest and excitement. While today it is still a fantasy, the Mars rover marks an important stepping stone to getting humans to Mars one day.